Hey guys, what's up? Wow, so I did it. I finally did it. I can't believe I've never done this before, and I was kind of nervous in the beginning, but I finally did it. I watched my first anime, and wow, what an eye-opener it was. It was incredible. It was nothing like anything I've ever seen before. The whole time I was watching, I couldn't stop admiring the incredible art and getting sucked into these vast worlds with the most imaginative stories. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was a little intimidated by how much anime is out there, and the fact that I was just now trying to get into it while all my friends had grown up with it for as long as they can remember. It was like I had missed out on a whole different side of movies and entertainment my whole life. Every time one of my friends brought up Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even Dragon Ball Z, I kinda just quieted down and moved back to the corner of the conversation. I never even had the slightest clue what they were talking about, and finally I'm listening to my friends and trying anime. And boy am I glad I listened. But real quick, before I give you my thoughts on it, please keep in mind I'm very new to this and I'm still learning. So please don't be too hard on me in the comments. Thank you guys for understanding, and let's get right into it because I'm really excited. So to start off, I watched the first 2 episodes of Death Note, right? And it might be one of the craziest concepts for a show I've ever heard of. Basically, this this demon, I forget the real word for it, I'm sorry, from another world has this notebook that lets him kill others by thinking of their face and writing their name down in this book. And this demon gets bored one day and decides to drop this notebook into the portal to the human world, where this smart kid finds it and decides to use it to eradicate all criminals and evildoers from the world. Crazy, right? The first episode kind of set everything up, and then boom, out of nowhere, the second episode comes up and adds 10 times more depth to the story. They went in and explored how this notebook worked and the rules of using it and all the implications around it. And apparently everyone started to notice all these criminals dying from random heart attacks, and a big meeting of police officials was held to appoint this best detective in the world to solve this case, and they ended up coming up with this whole ruse to narrow down where the killer was located, which was just mind-blowing. The story writing was equivalent to any high-budget show running on TV, if not better. I couldn't figure out for the life of me who the protagonist and the antagonist were, and I love how much the characters have such different perspectives of the world. These guys on opposing sides would say the exact same thing, but thinking about completely different ideas. It's like each character thinks he's right in his own mind, just like Anakin in episode 3. He honestly thought that the Jedi were evil and he was the hero by stopping them. Same in this show. The smart kid thinks he's right to kill off every criminal in the world, while the detective thinks he's the right one to take this kid down. And it's just such a cool concept, and I'm learning anime is such a good medium for storytelling. Ooh, and I got to watch the first episode of My Hero Academia, and it was so cool. The concept behind the show reminded me a lot of Hancock in that Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. Just that idea of random people having superpowers is so cool. Like when you're using your imagination and you put yourself in this world, there's a good chance that you would have a random superpower, right? Then you start thinking about what your one superpower would be, and you just get lost in this giant world surrounding this idea. Whereas when you think of the Avengers, you imagine yourself as one of the actual Avengers, one of the heroes themselves, with their powers already defined and limited, compared to the more grounded concept of this show, which leaves much more to your imagination. And I think that's why I like it so much more. But this episode was honestly just a roller coaster of emotions. I love that the young boy has this hero role model that he looks up to and aspires to be like someday, but when they came back from the doctors and learned that he probably wouldn't have any superpowers and his heart was just broken, he was watching his hero talk about how even in the toughest times, when things aren't going right, to keep a smile on your face because it'll get better. And his mom came into the room and he just turned around and you could tell he was holding back the tears, but had this biggest smile on his face, and his mom just ran up to him and collapsed and hugged him. And I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little bit. They just had so much emotion and it caught me so off guard. I wasn't expecting it at all. It had some really funny parts too though that I laughed a little too loud at and was scared I woke someone up. It was just really well balanced, and it built a very strong base under the characters' motives and dreams, and the music was incredible. Here, I'll play some of it in the background for you. I honestly can't wait to watch the next episode of this and see where it takes the show. The big battles, the well-executed humor, the incredible characters they set up. I want it all. And that one chick, Gigantification, I think? Yeah, she's bae. Okay, moving on to the final anime thing I watched, which was an actual full-length movie, and surprisingly made by Disney, which I had no idea Disney made anime, by the way. That's pretty cool. But I watched Spirited Away, and wow, this one too caught me so off guard. I was expecting like a traditional cartoon just because I had no idea what to expect, but this was a full-fledged movie. Right off the bat, I fell in love with the girl. She was so cute, and the animation was so unique. It seemed like an actual movie and was nothing like a cartoon. The story was very well told, from what happens when it gets dark in the town to the kid telling her she needed to eat the berries or she'll stay invisible. And again, throughout the whole movie, I had no idea who the antagonist and protagonist were. The no-face guy was cool. I thought he was the creature that, needed help at first and then turned into this giant monster and he ate that frog. Then it turned out he was just lonely and decided to stay with the old lady's twin and help her out around the house. So many character arcs went through such heavy changes. They became the good, the bad, the helpless, the hero. The story just overall was such a great concept and it built on things very well while keeping a fast pace. The comedy in it was hilarious. The stair scene where she started to go slow and then just tripped and flew down into the wall was great. It wasn't obnoxious or forced humor, it was again very well executed. At one point, a bunch of little dust bunnies were helping carry coal to the furnace and one collapsed and got stuck under his coal. The girl went over and helped the little guy out by picking up the coal off his head and tossing it into the fire. And then we see all the other dust bunnies carrying coal gather around to watch in astonishment, you think. Then out of nowhere, they all start throwing their coal on their heads and falling over so the little girl would come carry their coal for them, and I straight up died laughing. I was so caught off guard by this a little emotional detour. It was just so well done. I laughed way too hard at it probably, but I just got lost in this whole world itself and became immersed in this imaginative realm where all the rules and standards are different, and I honestly love that about anime so far. And the music was incredible. Wow, let's listen to a bit here. And at one point in the movie, very early on, the girl started crying, and I just felt so bad for her. I barely knew her at this point, but it felt like I already had such a strong connection to her character just from her stories and trials she had gone through already. There was just so much passion packed into these characters. The scene where they're falling was so emotional too, and even though there was a lot of things that I didn't understand, I loved the movie as a whole, and the concept how everything in the movie happened within a split second of real time, like Back to the Future almost. She left her parents and the whole movie took place, and then she returned and it was as if she had never left. I really enjoyed it. So overall, my first thoughts on anime are really good, and I honestly can't wait to watch more, but there were a few things that I noticed overall. When I was watching with English dubbed audio, it almost never matched what the English subtitles were saying. It was almost as if the subtitles were a direct translation, whereas the audio was rewritten a bit or something. Why is that? If someone could explain in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. I'm just kind of curious. And another thing, the style of Japanese writing looks so cool. I'd love to learn how to write my name in it. Might have to try it out for my next video. Ooh, and the style of drawing, manga? Yeah, manga. It looks so awesome. I really want to try to draw myself or even maybe my character in that style soon. I think that'd be really cool. And it looks like the style of animation anime uses is super time intensive, but I kind of want to try my hand at that too. It just looks so beautiful. I don't know, we'll see. But in general, I think anime is such a great medium to tell stories. Each show and movie had its own unique style. And I'm talking about the art, the animation, how characters talk, the lighting, the action sequences, everything. I loved it. It reminded me a little bit of YouTube, how there's this giant genre of YouTube videos and each creator produces videos that are different in their own unique way. They're created in different mediums, they're filmed differently using different angles, or some use quick cuts, or some use lots of effects, some are relaxing, some are unedited. There's just such a myriad of different styles to YouTube videos, just like how I'm finding out how different anime shows can be from one another. And another thing, I don't know if it's just anime in general, like the style of drawing, but the villains look so overly scary and creepy in these shows. Like, look at the demon guy from Death Note. That's so freaky. I can't look at him too long or I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. And the old lady in Spirited Away, I don't know if she was the main antagonist or not still, but she sure looked like it. I'd be terrified if I had to work for her. And I want to get better at this, but at the moment, each time I hear a name said out loud, it just sounds like gibberish to me. I'm sorry, I'm very new to this. I think the only one I remember is Haku, and that was super simple. I feel like I'll definitely start to be able to understand it a little bit more the more I watch. Which, speaking of, last video I asked you guys for recommendations of shows to watch, and the comment section was a goldmine for me. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I think the next few shows I'm going to check out are One Punch Man, Gurren Lagann, Konosuba, and I feel bad. I hope I'm not butchering these. And Sword Art Online. I can do that one. That one's English. Okay. I think I like those the best, or at least I'm excited to watch those first. But again, thank you for all the help on my journey into like the world of anime. It's incredible so far, and I really want to try my hand at it myself. Maybe try drawing myself as a manga character or making a little bit of anime or something. And if you have any idea why that English dubbed audio and the subtitles never match, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to catch my next video, which will hopefully be out very soon. I just got over a little nasty sore throat. which hopefully you couldn't tell. I'm sorry if I sounded a little different, but I'm feeling much better now after a lot of gargling salt water and Listerine, which I really secretly hate, and loading up on my vitamins. So thank you guys for understanding. I'm really excited to check out these new shows, but I will see you in the next video. Peace.